Dangal greetings everyone. Dangal greetings sir. My name is Jude Christian de Lusario and I am the leader of this group. Before we start to our midterm project, let me introduce or please meet my team.
I'm Romar Dialado.
Dangal greetings, my name is Javi Machado.
Dangal greetings, I am Clarice Cartagena.
Hello, my name is Charles Delgado.
Hi, Dangal greetings. I'm Jeffrey Doria.
Dangal greetings, my name is Mary Ann Garganera.
Dangal greetings, my name is James Welgas.
Dangal greetings, I am Marlon C. Inocencio.
Dangal greetings, I'm Darren Martin.
And that is my group. So we are here to explain our midterm project which is the student and subject management system. Dito sa program na to is ito yung code na nag-handles ng each menu option by calling the respective methods and performing the required action. For example, when the user choose to create a new student record, it collects the necessary information, create a student object, and add it into the student list. So, dito sa program natin is pwede ka makapag-create ng student, makapag-create ng subject, and ma-enroll yung student sa subject, and then ma-remove yung student sa subject. And then pwede rin ma-display yung student details, ma-display yung all student details, and then pwede rin makita yung enrolled sa isang subject na isang student. So, before we start to the code, let's proceed to our class diagram kasi dito natin makikita yung magiging paano natin ma-execute sa program itong program natin or itong code natin. So dito is gumawa tayo ng dalawang class diagram which is na separate sila sa three containers which is yung class name, class fields or attributes, constructor, and then sa mga methods. So meron tayo ditong dalawa which is student and subject. Sa first class natin is ang class name niya is student class, and then dito sa second container natin sa fields and attributes meron tayo ditong minus sign represents for a private kasi gusto natin na private yung mga class fields natin. So private int id, private string first name, private string last name, private string course, and then yung array natin is magiging private rin, which is papangalan natin siya na list subject subjects. And then meron tayo ditong constructor na student which is mag-handle ng mga value natin for first name, last name, and then sa course, and then lastly yung pag-aano natin sa subject. And then ang magiging code natin diyan is public student int id, first name string, last name string, and course string. And then meron tayong add subject na method kung saan makakapag-add tayo ng subject into the specific person. Wherein si student is magkakaroon ng unlimited subject as long as nakapag-create ka ng maraming subject. And then ang magiging code natin dyan is public kasi gusto natin ma-access siya sa ibang class. So, add subject which is subject yung list natin or yung array list natin, and then void. Public void add subject. And then magkakaroon rin tayo ng remove subject kasi ang gusto natin mangyari is meron tayong option na mari-remove natin si student sa specific subject. So, ang magiging code natin diyan is public void, public para ma-access natin throughout the package, and then ang magiging code public void remove subject, and then yung array natin for subject, ang parameter niya subject. And then meron tayong magiging relationship niya magli-link sa kanya na class which is yung subject. Ang class name is subject, and then ang class fields or attributes niya is private int id and private string name, private int unit, and then meron din tayong constructor na magko-connect or magli-link sa student class natin which is yung subject uh, ID int, name string, and then unit int. Yan. Para ma-handle yung value natin for subject. And then, kung nakikita nyo is meron tayo ditong solid line. Yan, solid line na magko-connect, which is association, na magko-connect sa relationship ng dalawang class natin. So, kung nakikita nyo, ang nakalagay na notation sa atin is 1 and 1 too many. Bakit? Kasi alam natin na yung student is isa lang siya. And magkakaroon siya ng unlimited or 1 too many na subject. Yun ang explanation natin. Kaya 1 and 1 too many yung ating student to subject. So, let's proceed naman po sa ating code. Our code will be explained by Clarice Cartagena.
So let's start. First, gagawa muna ako ng class na kung saan ang name niya is student. So, public class, student, then curly brace. So next is gagawa tayong class field. So, mag-input tayo ng private int ID semicolon to represent the student identifier using the integer. Next is private string first name to represent the student's first name. Next naman is private last name, string last name to represent the student last name. So next is private string course to represent the course in which the student is involved. Next is private list subjects to restore and represent the subjects or courses that the student is enrolled in. Pero bago yun, kailangan muna natin mag-input na import java.util.arraylist para walang error sa pag-create natin na array list. Then, let's proceed sa constructor. Dito, it allows you to create a student object by providing values for the ID, first name, last name, and course fields. It also initializes the subject list as an empty array list. So, public, student, open and close parentheses, sa loob ng int, ID, comma, string, first name, comma, string last name, comma, string, course, and ayun. Then, curly brace. So, next is this that ID is equal to ID, semicolon, this first name is equal to first name, semicolon. Next, this the last name is equal to last name, semicolon. Then, this the course is equal to course, semicolon. Then, last, this subjects is equal to new array list. Then, open and close parentheses, semicolon. Then, curly braces. For getter methods, will be explained by Batchar.
And then, let's proceed getter methods. Dito is i-return natin yung value ng bawat class field natin, which is public int, get in, open and close parentheses, to return the student's ID. Public string, get first name, and curly and open close parentheses, to return the student first name. Public string, get last name, open and close parentheses, to return the student last name. Public string, get course, open and close parentheses, to returns the name of the course in which the student is enrolled. Public list subject and get subjects, open and close parentheses, to returns a list of subjects the student is enrolled in. Add subject method. So itong method na to is allows you to add a subject objects to the list of subjects that the student is enrolled in. It adds the provided subject to the subject list. Public void add subject, open and close parentheses, and then dito mo ilalagay yung subject that add, open and close parentheses, and then lalagay mo dito sa loob is which is subject. And then remove subject and open close parenthesis method. So, itong method na ito is allows you to remove a subject from the list of subjects that the student is enrolled in. It removes the provided subjects from the subject list. Public void removes subjects, open and close parenthesis, and then maglalagay tayo ng subject, subject, subject that remove, and then open and close parenthesis, subject. So, that's next to the next reporting is Mary Ann Garganel.
So, Dangal greetings everyone. My name is Mary Ann Garganera and I will be explaining the subject class. So, first is mag-create tayo ng class na may class name na subject which is public class subject. Then, maglalagay tayo ng class field dito which are the private int ID na mag-represent ng unique identifier per the subject. Then, private string subject name na mag-store naman ng name ng subject natin. Then, private int units na mag-store naman ng number of units or credits associated with the subjects. And then, magkakaroon din tayo ng constructor for the subject class. So, it will allows us to create instances of the subject class. So, sa constructor nito is meron tatlong parameters which are the ID, subject, and units. And then, mag-initialize the corresponding fields with the values provided as arguments. So, ito yung this ID equals ID, this subject name equals subject name, and this units equals units. So, under naman ito is merong getter methods. So, meron tayong getter method sa code na ito which are used to access the values of the private fields which are public int get ID, open and close parentheses, return ID to return the unique identifier of the subject, then public string get subject name, open and close parentheses, return subject name para naman mag-return yung name ng subject natin. Then lastly is public int get units to return the number of units or credits associated with the subject. So the next reporter is Charles Delgado.
Hi, my name is Charles Delgado, and I'm gonna be presenting the main class. So let's proceed sa ating main class kung saan natin i-execute ang ating program. So first, mag-import muna tayo ng uh, Java util list and Java util array list para walang error sa pag-store natin ng multiple students and subjects sa ating program. Then import naman natin yung ating Java util scanner para sa ating input. Then public static void main method, which is ito yung magiging entry point of our program. Then to array list para sa ating object to create and store yung instances of the student and subject classes. So itong array list is papangalanan natin ng students and subjects, which is list student and list subject. Then magdi-display tayo ng title sa ating program na papangalanan nating student and subject records. So system.out, the print line, student and subject records. Then let's proceed sa ating menu-driven interface. So dito yung program natin is magdi-display ng menu para sa ating user, allowing them to choose from various options, which is system.out, the print line menu, then system.out, the print line, create new student record, create new subject record, and list a subject to a student, remove a subject from a student, display details and display details of a student, display all details of all students, and display all student details enlisted in a selected subject, and plus is yung exit, kung saan papasok yung input handling natin. Dito yung program natin is gumagamit ng scanner to read user input. So new scanner, papangalanan na lang nating scanner equals new scanner system.in. Dito gumamit tayo ng while loop para mag-continue lang o mag-loop lang yung program until the user chooses to exit the program. Then gagamit tayo ng while true. And also, to make sure the input is an integer before proceeding with the chosen action, if the user input a space or string, it will display an invalid input. So, ito yung code. Sa if natin is gagamit tayo ng scanner that has next int, int choice equals scanner next int scanner dot next line. So ito yung menu-driven interface natin na gagamitin sa program. And or switch case, and ito naman yung sa loob naman ng else is ito ba? Is ito. Sa else naman natin is system.out na print line. Nakalagay dito is invalid input, please enter a valid choice. And next naman natin is, and the menu options will be presented by James Welgas.
So, greetings. My name is James Welgas. So, next, ito yung menu option. So, dito, hindi magagamit ni user yung option 3 to 7 hanggat hindi pa nakakapag-create si user ng student and subject. So, ayun. Ito yung mga nag-offer ng options wherein dito gumagamit tayo ng switch case method para sa ating mga options sa tulad ng option 1. Sa option 1, makapag-create ka ng new record. So, ito yung code. After nyan, we are here dito sa switch case, choice, system out print, student ID, kung saan i-input natin yung student ID. So, ang ginamit natin is instance number yung ita-type. So, yan. After nun, system out print ln, first name, enter. Second, enter last name, tapos sa last, enter course. So, dito ginamitan siya ng string kasi word lang. So, here, sa student, papasok dito kapag yung mga student na in-input kung saan andun yung ID, first name, last name, tsaka yung course. So, yan. Proceed tayo sa option 2. Dito sa option 2, makakapag-create tayo ng new subject record tulad lang doon sa student sa enter ng student. So, dito, papasok yung case 2, system out print, enter subject ID, ginamitan siya ng string. Tapos yan, nandito int yung units. Tapos dito, subject. Papasok dito yung mga subject na in-enter. So, proceed tayo sa option number 3. Dito sa enlist a subject for a student, dito yung code kung saan makikita natin yung subject para dun sa student. So dito, pumasok yung if else. Tapos itong is not empty. Tapos ito is not empty. Proceed tayo dyan, yung ID, yung scanner. Tapos dito, ang student, get student by ID. So, pag null, wala lalabas. Lalabas doon is invalid student ID. Kasi kapag mali yung tinype o hindi pa encoded doon yung student ID na in-enter doon sa case 1, walang lalabas. Dito naman, enter subject ID to enlist. Papasok dito yung get subject by ID. And doon din, kung anong mga subject na in-enter ng student na yun. So dito, proceed tayo kapag nagkamali naman, kunyari, wala doon yung subject ID, hindi rin lalabas doon yung subject ID ng student. So yan, proceed tayo sa case 4. Dito sa case 4, i-remove natin yung subject from a student. So, ito yung code. So if student is not empty, lalabas na dyan yung subjects tapos yung empty. Tapos andito na, system out print, enter student ID, lalabas din yung student ID natin. Tapos pipili tayo ng get student by ID kung saan anong subject yung i-remove natin. So ayan, proceed tayo sa case number 5 where si Marlon Inocencio ang mag-explain.
Greetings, sir. I am Marlon C. Inocencio and I'll be presenting the second half of our menu option. So, for our case 5 po, if student is not empty, system.out.print line, mag-ask po si menu option ng enter ng student ID, which is ito po, and then if ever input na po ng ID, mag-display po yung ID and students. And if wala pong record yung students, lalabas po is no students records available. While in our case 6 po, if student is not empty, lalabas po yung record ng mga students and subjects. Students lang po pala. And else, no students records available. Well, in our case 7, if students is not empty and subjects is not empty as well, user will be asked to enter their subject ID. And then subject ID will be displayed, and if mali po yung student ID na nailagay na enter ni user, lalabas po is invalid subject.
And then lalabas po itong subject and students. And else naman po, if wala pa rin po record, lalabas po is no students or subject records available. And for the last po is the exit for our last menu option, case 8 po. Pagka nag-enter po si user ng number 8, mag-end po yung program. And then, dito naman po, we also added the default, which is mag-handle po ng invalid inputs ni user. Then, dito po is our uh, helper method. First po is get student by ID, which has arguments int ID, these students. If students, if s dot get ID is equals to ID, magre-return si s. And then for the second one po is public static subject get subject by ID, which has arguments int ID, list subjects. And if s dot get ID is equals to ID, return s po. And then next presenter po will be Jude De Rosario. Thank you.
So again, the greetings. I am the one explaining the display student, which is dito is it will display a specific student. So here is the code. So public static void display student, and yung parameter niya, ang laman niya is int id, and then yung array this student and students. So sa loob niya is gagawa tayo ng object na student and then is equal to get student by ID, which is tatawagin niya yung helper method natin na ito, na get student by ID. And then nanghingi siya ng value, or meron dapat na siyang value na ID student. And then student if student is equal to null or wala siyang laman, ang mangyayari doon is invalid student ID, or yung if student is kunyari yung fill up mo or yung in-input mo sa ID ng display student is walang tawag dito, walang ID or invalid ID. Ito po yung magde-display sa kanya, which is system.out.println invalid student ID, and then i-return lang natin siya. And then kung else naman na kung hindi si student is tawag dito invalid, ay kung si student is meron siyang, or yung pinilap mong student ID is meron yung program natin, is ito yung mangyayari, which is i-display niya yung student details, which is ito, may title siya na student details, i-display niya yung ID, first name, and last name, and course. So gumamit tayo dito ng tinawag natin student dot get ID, or yung getter natin for ID, student and get first name, student get last name, student get course. And then after nun is sa baba niya is mag-a-appear yung enlisted subject or yung mga subject na naka-enroll kay student. So ang code natin dyan is list. Gumawa tayo ng tawag dito ng object for list subject, and pinangalanan siya ng subjects, which is equal to student get subjects, or yung getter natin for subject. And then for loop kung si subject S is nag-equal to subject, ang mangyayari po sa kanya is system.out.println S, which is ito, is to get subject name, or yung getter natin for subject name. And then ang mangyayari is maglalagay lang tayo ng extra one line para ma-space siya sa baba. And then let's proceed to display all student. Ayan. Which is dito natin na-display ng yung lahat ng student natin sa ating list. So, ang code natin dyan is public static void display all student, and tatawagin natin ay ang laman ng student natin is yung array list natin for student, which is list student and student. So, maglalagay lang tayo ng title sa taas na all students, display natin na gano'n, and then magagawa tayo ng for loop na kung si student S is not equal to students, i-display natin yung mga students and S dot get ID slash students, which is pag napag-fill up ka ng ID for displaying student is mag-a-appear doon lahat ng information ni students or yung lahat ng students. And then let's proceed to our last code, which is i-display dito yung students by their subject, or i-display dito yung mga students na enrolled sa specific subject. So ang ilalagay dito is kunyari, maglagay ka ng ID for subject, and then magdi-display lahat ng student na enrolled sa subject na yun. So ang code natin dyan is public static void display student by subject, and then may manghingi tayo ng parameter, or maglalagay tayo sa parameter niya ng subject, and then yung array list natin. For example, naglagay tayo ng display student. Ang ilalagay natin dito is yung subject, kunyari subject, naglagay tayo ng ID ni subject, and then mag-aano yung mga list ng student na naka-enroll sa subject na yun. And then maglalagay tayo ng title na student enrolled in the specific subject, or yung subject that getter, or yung getter natin for subject name. And then maglalagay tayo ng for loop ulit, which is kung si student S is nag-equal to students, ang mangyayari sa loob niya is gagawa tayo ng object for student subject, which is papalangala siya subs, and s dot is equal to s dot getter for subject. And then sa loob ng loop is gagawa pa rin tayo ng loop, which is kung si subject S2 is not equal to subj, which is ito, or short name for subjects. Ang mangyayari sa loob niya is magagaya tayo ng if S2 getter for ID is equal to subject that get ID. And then i-display yung lahat ng student na enrolled sa subject. So, i-break na natin siya, and then doon matatapos yung program natin. So, again, this is our code for our student and subject management system. So, let's proceed naman sa ating output. The first output is explained by Romar Alado.
Hi, I'm Roman Alado. I'll be explaining student and subject records. Dito sa menu option, ay papaliwanag ko dito is create new student record and create new subject record. Dito magta-type tayo ng 1. Tapos nalagay tayo student ID. Tapos first name. Then last name. Tapos enter course, which is information technology. Dito na, is na-record na yung yung in-enter ko na na student ID tsaka yung pangalan ng student. Tapos dito is magdadagdag tayo ulit ng isang student, which is mag-click ulit tayo mag-enter tayo ulit ng number 1. Tapos enter natin yung student ID. Tapos first name is Darren. Then last name. Tapos enter course, which is information technology ulit. Dito naman, nakagawa na tayo ng dalawang student. Tapos ang lalagay naman natin is maggagawa naman tayo ng subject record nila. Mag-press tool tayo na number 2, enter 2. Enter subject ID, dito is puro laboratory subject yung i-indicate natin. 108, 108. Tapos subject name is object oriented programming. Enter units is 1. Tapos mag-click lang ulit tayo number 2 para sa isa pang subject. Dito naman is 109. Data structure, system analysis pala yun. Mali pala yung data structure. And design. Tapos enter units is 1 ulit. Tapos dito is maglalagay ulit tayo na isa pang subject para maging 3. Enter number 2 ulit. Tapos naman, subject ID is 107. Ito naman yung data structure. and algorithms. Isang unit ulit. Dito naman may mapapansin nyo is naka-record na tayo ng tatlong subject. Tapos after dito naman is mag-explain dito is ng option number 3 and 4 is Jeffrey Duria.
Greetings everyone, I'm Jeffrey Guria. Now let's proceed to menu option 3 and 4, which is enlist subject to student and remove subject from a student. First step is enter 3, I type 3, then enter. Then hihingi ito ng student ID. Example case yung kay Romer, 2202144, then enter. Hihingi dito ng subject ID to enlist. Example is 108. Then if you want to add enroll a subject from a same student ID, same process lang po. Type 3, enter. Then 3272144. Enter. Enter ulit, enter. Next, mag-enroll tayo ng subject which is sa ibang student ID naman. Type 3, enter. Then 2273561, enter. 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 Then next, let's proceed to remove. Option 4, which is remove. If you want to remove subject from one student, enter 4, or type 4, enter. Then hingi dito ng student ID. Example natin sa kay Romer 2144. Enter. Kung ano po yung subject na gusto natin burahin sa isang student, which is 108. And after that, after explaining option 3 and 4, the option 5 and 6 will be presented by Darren Griffin.
So hi, I'm Darren Martin. I will be explaining the option 5, which is display details of a student, and option 6, which is display all details of all students. So, pag naglagay ng 5, lalabas yung enter student ID. So, lagyan natin yung unang student ID. So, lumabas yung student details, which is yung ID, first name, last name, course, and listed subjects, which is yung system analysis and design, and yung data structure and algorithms. So, mag-enter ulit tayo ng 5. So, ilagay natin yung sunod na student ID. So, may lumabas ulit na panibagong student details. Ganun pa rin, may ID, first name, last name, course, and listed subjects, which is yung object-oriented programming, system analysis and design, and data structures. So, next, try naman natin ilagay yung 6. So, pagka-enter natin ng 6, lumabas na yung lahat ng student details. Ayan. So, pagka-enter natin ng 6, lumabas lahat ng details ng students, which is yung kay Romar Alado and yung kay Darren Martin. So, the option 7 and 8 will be explaining by Judel Rosario.
So yun sir, I am the one explain the display all subject detail in list and selected subject and also the exit program. So dito sa display all student details enlisted in a selected subject is dito is madi-display niya lahat ng students na enrolled dun sa specific subject. So let's try or let's type E7, which is dito manghihingi tayo ng subject ID. Kasi pag nakapag-type tayo dito ng subject ID, dun lalabas yung mga student na enrolled sa mismong subject. So try natin yung 108. 08. So yan. Ang details lang or student details na naka-enrolled lang sa object-oriented programming is si Darren Martin. Bakit? Kasi, di ba, nung nag-remove tayo ng subject kanina, or nag-select tayo kanina ng 4, is ang niremove natin is si Romar Alado sa subject ng object-oriented programming. Kaya ang details na nakalagay dito is yung object-oriented programming. Yung details na nandito is yung kay Darren Martin. And then, again, let's display again na yung uh, all student details in listed and selected subject, which is 7. So, subject ID naman natin, ang try naman natin yung enrolled sa data structure, which is yung code niya or yung ID or yung subject ID niya is 107. So, enter. So, ito yung mga student na enrolled sa kanya or yung student na enrolled sa data structure and algorithm, which is ito. Student details is, ang mga enrolled sa kanya is Romar Alado and then Darren Martin. Yan. And then, for the enlisted na subject sa kanila, isang naka-enlist lang sa kanila is ito. Yung system analysis and design para kay Romar and data structure. And then yung para kay Darren Martin is yung object-oriented programming, system analysis and design, and data structure. So, okay na lahat na gamit na natin lahat ng interface ng menu option natin. So, ang gusto naman natin is i-exit naman natin yung program. Tama? So, try natin bago muna natin na-exit yung program, I will explain muna na dun sa menu option natin, which is ito, create a new student record, create a new subject record, and etc. is hindi mo pwede magamit yung option 3 to 7 nang hindi ka pa nakakapag-create ng student and subject. So, mamaya, ito-try natin yan. Try muna natin yung option 8, exit natin. Tapos mag-run tayo ng panibago. So, yan, nag-end yung program natin, which is nasa instruction na the program will continue until the user choose to exit the program. So, ito, nag-exit yung program natin, hindi na nag-loop yung ating menu option, which is program ended, thank you. So, yan. Try natin mag-run ng panibago. So, yun. Niran uli natin siya kasi gusto natin na mangyari is ma-explain ko sa inyo na if the user is enter or selected 3 to 7 sa ating option is ang mangyayari is ma-handle yung error natin. Kasi paano nga ba naman makapag-enlist ng subject without creating a new student or creating a new subject? Kaya ang gusto natin mangyari is ma-handle yung error natin for choosing 3 to 7 without creating a subject or creating a student. So, try natin mag-3. Tingnan natin kung ma-handle yung error. So, yun. No student or subject record are available. So, yun. That's all. This is our program. Program titled Subject and Student Records or Subject and Student Management System. So, yun. Again, my name is Jude Christian De Lusario. I am the leader of this group.
I'm Charles Delgado.
I am Mary Ann Garganera.
I am Calvin Machado.
I am Marlon Singh Asensio.
I am Clarice Cartagena.
I'm James Welgas.
I'm Jeffrey Doria.
Hi, I'm Romar Diado.
So again, I'm Darren Martin.
And that is our midterm project. That's all. Thank you!